Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale. Boom. What up? What y'all doing out there, and where y'all doing it at? That's what I want to know. What's happening, y'all? It's Holla at the Homie time, baby. We right here on hot7025fm.com and live on my IG and Facebook at the same damn time. I'm in two damn places at the same damn time. What up with it, Goose? Be free out there, the homie out there. What's up? Ant Dog probably on set somewhere. I know you, man. You always working, man. You the new James Brown, Goose. Be free. You the hardest working man in show business. You dig? So, and I appreciate it. I salute you. I'm going to come right behind you and be like, what's happening? Let's get to work, baby. What's happening then? We at the number one spot, the best online and in-person live and direct. What's up, McFadden? Am in the building, always coming through from out there. Oh, you forgot you're on the East Coast now. You in South Kakalaki. I was about to put you back in the Midwest, McFadden, but you over in South Kaka. That's what's happening. I like it. I love it. That means it's about 6 o'clock your time, so that means you chilling at the crib, big feet up. But you too, Ant. You down there in ATL, so I know y'all down there big chilling. I still got work to go do. But we got work to do right here on the number one online in-person spotlight conversation advice column that you can come up with. I made up a new title for myself, you dig? So, I see some stuff happening with my cameras and stuff. My engineer always doing something out there. She always working. She the hardest working woman behind the scenes. I'm going to say that. We're going to keep it like that. But today I always like to say, I always put my disclaimer out there that I'm not a place where you can come to and talk to somebody who's licensed, who's been and paid anybody's tuition for any type of training on how to become any type of psychologist, psychiatrist, and or counselor. But what I am is a person who's lived, and I've lived a life that's pretty full of a lot of activities, and it's been colorful. And if not, I've been close enough to somebody else to live vicariously enough with them that I can squeeze out some of the game that I picked up from them, and I give it back to y'all right here on the airwaves. So that's where we at. We got about an hour and some change. No, I'll take that back. About an hour. About 50 minutes before we got to get up out of here. So we're going to talk a little bit. We got a good topic today, as always. Always got to talk about my shirt of the day. Shirt of the day is brought to you in part by Tennessee State University. It is Black History Month, so I always got to pump up all my HBCU activities. So just found out that we're going to be playing Howard for their homecoming. Oh, cheese and rice. Oh, man. So if you're a TSU alum and you know, we normally do homecoming, around that same time. It's the week after, actually. It's the week before homecoming. But we're going to be playing Howard for their homecoming the week before our own homecoming. So it's decisions that's got to be made, folks. Grown-up decisions. Because most of the time, people that don't live in the area where the places are taking, where things are taking place. So if you don't live in the DC area, you don't live in the Nashville area, then, you know, you more likely got to have a decision to make. So if you live in Nashville, you're going to make it to homecoming. And you can just go on, come on up to Howard's homecoming and kick it with the rest of us. But if you like me, you got to decide on which activity you're going to attend. Because I ain't just going up and just leave the crib 2 weeks in a row, going to be, you know, kicking it and, you know, doing the most, you know, just 2 weeks in a row. You understand what I'm saying? Because, you know, for the most part, I'm going to kick it with the fellas. We're going to drink. We're going to have a good time. We're going to, you know, we're going to blow some herb. We're going to laugh and reminisce. I don't have to do it 2 weeks in a row. I just don't. You know, I just don't. I'm sorry, you know, to the fellas. I ain't got to kick it with y'all 2 weeks in a row. Not like that. I'm cool right here in Viva Las Vegas. I can be right here chilling. You dig? So, but, you know, decisions got to be made for some of the people out there that don't live in either D.C. or Nashville. So if you're an alum of either Howard University or the Tennessee State University, if you ever attended, you ain't got to be an alum. If you've ever attended, if you had one class, if you dropped an ad, you stood in line, if you got purged, anything didn't happen to you, you been on campus, slept in the dorm, anything, you need to be at this event. Oh, man, I ain't going to tell y'all what it is. I'll let y'all do your own Google and search it out because the people that YK. But we're going to talk about something that kind of associated a little bit with that because some people are going to be out there doing this while they're at these activities. We talking about a good one today, y'all. Talking about people living in a whole phase. What do you think about a whole phase? That's the first question. Do you believe in a whole phase? You know, everybody don't even know. Do you know what a whole phase is? Let's start there. Do most people even know what a whole phase is? So let's go back. We're going to go in and read our letter. And it's coming from a gentleman by the name of Concerned Sibling. And I know it's a gentleman because I saw his page and he's already tapped in and tuned in over here on Facebook. So I know he's listening. So we're going to talk to him today for a little bit and we're going to add him a couple of things. But neighbor Nicole in the building. What's up? Cole. What's happening? It's another shirt you could have had on during your HBCU week, Cole. You know. Exactly. See, she doing the Black History Month program at her school. She one of our fine educators out here in the Valley. She had a Black History Month at her school, you know. She's not the only black teacher, but she the most black teacher, you dig? But, you know, but anyway, we're going to talk to a gentleman by the name of Concerned Sibling. He says, Dear Holla at the Homie, I recently overheard my mother encouraging my 21-year-old sister to embrace her whole phase in life. I only came in on the tail end of their conversation, and I'm not sure if I was there from the beginning that I still would have been able to hear all of that. I just know that it left me feeling uncomfortable and unsure how to handle the situation. Now, don't get me wrong. I love and value my family, but I'm struggling to navigate this conversation. And any advice on addressing this, both with my mother and my sister? Sincerely, Concerned Sibling. Oh, man. Let's break the letter down first, right? So first things first. Concerned Sibling, I get it. I understand your concern. So this goes back to the question I was just asking about, do people know what a whole phase is? Like, because it's not that bad of a thing if you think about it, because in most cases, and I believe in all cases, in my opinion, IMO, that everyone needs and deserves to go through their own whole phase. You need it. If you think that any of that's going to erupt and pop up later on in life, because it's better that you take care of it when you can be can be responsible and be living in the moment of being in your whole phase. So let's go there first, Concerned Sibling. Let's understand first what the whole phase is. So the whole phase is in life where not just, people call it the whole phase because you're just really unattached to anyone, but you're letting your promiscuous and liberties flow as they must or as they will, right? So you want to allow yourself to be free, allow yourself to be without any help, anybody holding you down per se, right? So that's first things first. You got to understand what the whole phase is. It's an enlightening period in life where your promiscuity is not in question by you, regardless of whom else may question it. As long as it's not in question by you, the person who's going through it, then you yourself are living in your whole phase. So you may be in it and not even know you in it. You know, you may be like out here like, girl, I need to stop tripping because I got this one, I got that one, but I don't feel bad about it. And if that's how you feeling, then you too are living in your hoe phase. So understand that first and foremost, concerned sibling. So I know you thinking of that side of the hoe phase, thinking it being a bad thing for your sister. So we're going to get back into more of that in just a moment. So first and foremost, we got to address the elephant in the room. She's 21 years old, right? You say right here, she's 21 years old. So I understand, I'm a baby brother. So I'm overprotective of my older sister. So I understand how you feel about one who's younger than you, who you've watched grow, who's cried to you, who's hid behind you possibly as a child to protect her from something that was scary. You know, but in this point in her life, she's hit the 21-year-old phase, right? She's 21, so she's officially a grown-ass German Shepherd. She grown, dog. She grown. Like, so you got to understand that first and foremost, that she's a 21-year-old and you have to be able to embrace that. Because if you just take it like it's a shot of vinegar and you got a bitter beard boy face going on, she may not move towards you as an older sibling. You want your younger siblings or anybody who you feel is, you know, somebody who you're rearing or teaching and helping to develop who they are becoming. You hope for them to come to you even more as they grow. Right? Exactly. McFadden says it's a phase of exploration. It is. Exploring what it is that you like, what it is you desire, and most importantly, what it is you need. See, this is when you get a chance to really be selfish in a way, because you're getting what you need out of your hoe phase. It's not about what anybody else is getting. Yeah, somebody else may be getting the cookies. Yeah, somebody else may be getting the sausage. But what are you getting the satisfaction and the fulfillment that you need in your exploration phase? That whole phase that's your Ponce de Leon, if you want to say Christopher Columbus phase, if you want to say, your Sacagawea phase, call it what you want. Whoever been traveling across somewhere, what's going on, C-Dot? Whoever been traveling across somewhere and exploring some ish, right? Call it that phase. Give it a nickname. If you don't want to call it the whole phase, give it whatever nickname you want to call it, right? Because me, 360, I call HOE, to me stand for high tech operated equipment. So, that's a whole different whole phase. It's high tech operated equipment when it comes to really living in that whole phase. To me, I've always got an acronym for everything. So call it what you want to, but live in it, explore in it, be who it is you need to be in it, right? So be okay with it, because if you're uncomfortable with it, then you're truly not living in it. So, concerned sibling, your little sister needs to, if you want her to successfully, because she gonna listen to your mama. Where they say she get it from her mama, whatever it is, she gonna get it from her mama, right? So she's going to listen. So if apparently because another thing is, you might have missed some real pertinent points on what she was explaining to her about living in this whole phase, because you said you came in on the tail end of it. So she might have come to your mom like, yo, mom, like, I don't really know what to do with these feelings I'm having on the inside. Like, I like this dude, I like that dude. Or sometimes I don't like anybody. And your mom may have said, let me tell you a little something, baby girl, like right now you living in your hoe phase, and you need to embrace that and be able to embrace that. You can't, because in your hoe phase, ain't no feelings in the hoe phase. Feelings ain't included in your hoe phase, because if you got feelings, like real, like, ooh, I like this you ain't in your hoe phase. You're not in it. You're not in it. You ain't spending the night over nobody's house. Like, you ain't doing all that cuddling. Nah, you not. If you doing all that, you're not in your whole phase. You just humping around. Angie Thompson, exactly. Your whole phase. Heaux, whatever, however you want to spell it. You got to be living in it. You can't just. It's not like you can dip your toe in it and be like, oh, okay, I like the way this feels. Nah, you got to dive in. Y'all heard Trey Songz? You got to dive into your whole phase. You can't be lukewarm. You got to be on the side or out of it. Either you in your whole phase or you're holier than thou phase. No, I'm just playing. It's a lot more in between that. But Exactly. If you cut Angie Thompson, if you cuddled in your hoe phase, you slipped up a couple times. You slipped up. You liked a couple of your hoes. You liked a couple of your hoes, Angie Thompson. I'm just letting you know. If you cuddled in your hoe phase, you truly weren't in it in that moment. You were falling for one because you possibly the person you cuddled with, you probably started liking them and went together with afterwards, possibly. But because and again, your hoe phase is about discovery. What are you needing? You may have needed those cuddles. So that may have been the satisfaction that you may have needed in your whole phase. But again, if you're doing the cuddling, then you coming out of it mentally a little bit, allowing yourself to get back into your, let me snuggle phase. She said, and did. Exactly. See what I mean? See, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what can be done. See, over here on this side, on Facebook, I had somebody say Angie Thompson said she cuddled in her whole phase. When I said if she cuddled, she probably ended up going with the person that she cuddled with. She said, and she did. Because that's what it is. Again, you exploring your whole phase. The whole phase is an exploration. It's not like you go there forever. It's an exploration, not a destination. You're not trying to get to your whole phase and stay. Nah, you just be traveling through it. Whole phase is an exploration, not a destination. Well, y'all gonna pay me. Start paying me for some of these one-liners I be dropping out here. But so again, you may have come in on the tail. You said you came in on the tail end of the conversation, Mr. Concerned Sibling, but you say if you weren't there from the beginning, that you would have been able to listen to all of it. But I beg to differ, my brother. I beg to differ because mamas be dropping some game, right? They really do. They really do. So if you really get a chance to breathe up on anybody that's a parent, that's a mama, like daddies be dropping some game too. But if you get a chance to hear anybody that's a mama, that's got some advice that's coming from a motherly place, it ain't even got to be your own mama. If you hear somebody that's a mama, that's coming from a motherly place, that's somebody that then nurtured somebody, that's a person that came out of their body, and they willing to tell somebody some real ish, listen. Listen to absorb that. Listen to absorb that heat. That's some heat coming off that woman. That's some heat. You dig? I'm telling you, because I got all this game I be spitting, I got from women. No lie. Yeah, I got a couple uncles that taught me a couple things, a couple homies in the back in the day. Nah, man, I got this from the females, man. Because I listened. I sponged it up. Little nosy ass little kid. Like I said, I'm the baby. So I just sat back. They think I'm over here playing. I'm gaming. I'm soaking it up. What up, Pammy Pam? So you got to think. Remember that your whole phase is just that. It is an exploration. It's not a destination. So you're not looking at it. So your mama not telling your sister to go into it and just go be a hoe. Concerned sibling, she's telling her that she really has to be in it. She can't tiptoe in and out of it. So to those people that's just joining in, we got a listener who called us, who hit us up with a letter, and he said he overheard his mom telling his sister to live her whole phase of life, and it hit him the wrong way. He didn't know how to handle it because it just took him aback. His sister's 21, but he don't know how to understand and how to handle that. So we talking to him right now about, first and foremost, we had Amber Mack. She said that remember, whole phase is an exploration. And that's it. And I tagged on to the end of that. I said, whole phase of exploration, not a destination. You're not going there just to stay. You're not going there just to be there forever. You're just going to find out what it's all about. Who all over there? It's one of them situations. Exactly. Got to be in it to win it. You can't, and I said, you can't be cuddling in your whole phase. If you spending the night and cuddling and doing all that ish, you're not completely in your whole phase. You're not all the way in it. You got to dive in if you're going to really enjoy, embrace, and really take away from it what you needed out of that phase of your life. We all have our party phase. We have our drunken phase. What's going on, Crystal Reed? 217, stand up. You know what I mean? So we all got our party phase. We got, our kick it phase. Some of us got our drugging phase. But everybody needs, I state and I stand on needs to explore your whole phase. What you say? Angie Thompson over here says that I don't think I did mine right. I fell in love, didn't explore. But no, but only if that was your first exploration. That might have been, if that was your first exploration, then you really didn't do your whole phase right. Because in order for you really to be in your whole phase, you got to kind of have somebody else on the side too. Got to be doing both. You say can you do it in your 30s, or is that now irresponsible? No, that's not irresponsible doing it in your 30s. It's not irresponsible when you want to do it. I just say do it when you realize it's what you want to do, because that way you can really take away from it what you need out of the situationships that you living in. You know, so be mindful. Remember 360. Remember Will. Remember Billy. Whatever y'all know me as, Coach. Whatever y'all call me, Einstein. Remember, I said it right here. You can't be spending the night and cuddling when you in your whole phase. You can, but you're not really all the way in it. You can be going through this thing, but you know, if you cuddling over this person's house, you cuddle over that person's house, you really just you laying up. You really just laying up, messing around. And Thompson said, I'm going for it. Hey, ladies, go for it. That's what I'm saying. I encourage it. I encourage anybody who's willing to really, really go into it and do it to go for it. You know what I mean? That's my whole thing about it. Like, my biggest point is, would you say, McFadden? You said, guess I messed mine up too. And don't get me wrong. There's no such thing as no do-over for your whole phase. You know, I just want people to know, like, it's just easier to explain it to your conscience that you're going into it. It's easier to own it in your 20s, right? Don't get me wrong. You may do it more responsibly in your 30s and your 40s, because now you know what you're looking for. Because a lot of us were in our 20s were just humping around. We didn't appreciate what we really were in the midst of doing. And that was learning our own bodies, learning what we like and like to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may be like, maybe like, let me try licking toes. And then you try it. You don't really like it. You're like, all right, I don't really want that in my faces no more. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, just to the extreme. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, there's some stuff you may try. Be like, I'm going to try it. I'm going for it. I'm all in. Push your chips to the table. And then if you don't like it, it's okay to bounce back. Drop back. You didn't own it. It's an exploration, not a destination. You're not going there to stay forever. You know, you going there just to kind of see what it's all about. What up, K-Rock? I know you know what I'm talking. The topic today: living your whole phase. You might still be in yours, dog. But no, I'm just playing. That's one of my dogs, 30 years deep. But you know, back to Mr. Concerned sibling. Like, again, you came in on the tail end. She's 21. You know. And another question I ask is, Mr. Concerned sibling, have you experienced your own whole phase? Because if you haven't done your own and you looking at this as like, oh, it's a taboo, bad thing, it's because you don't understand what it's all about. Now, it might be time for you to live yours, sir, before you get to judging your sister and your mama about their conversation about having one. That's real spit. If in the event you have not lived your own whole phase, because I believe it's good for everybody. If you really want to know your body, you say way past that phase. Nah, you can't. Ain't no way past that phase. You know, if you really want to know your body, you got to live it. And again, you may be past that phase, K-Rock. And again, you've explored it, you've lived it, you owned it, and you got what you wanted from it, right? So to this person that's writing, I'm asking him, has he ever lived his own whole phase? Before he's hitting that gavel on the table like, I'm passing judgment on my mom and my sister for even having this conversation. You know? Because he said, don't get me wrong, I value my family, but I'm struggling with how to navigate this conversation. This is a way you can navigate through it. First, look at yourself and be like, damn, have I gone through mine? Before I get to passing judgment, before I get to talking ish, have I gone through my own so I can understand what they even talking about? Because if not, maybe if you haven't, maybe you need to go holler at your mama. She may tell you how to live yours. You understand? Like, again, mamas be preaching. Anybody's mama. Baby mamas. Anybody's mamas. It's somebody that didn't birth somebody. If you really ask a mama, somebody who got a kid, I'm not saying they're the only ones that can give it, but somebody who got a kid, somebody who had to manipulate this smaller mind into thinking things that were the impossible somewhere in their life, you ask them for some real game, they're going to give you that far. It's going to be flames coming out like the old basketball game. You're on fire NBA jams with the big heads. You know what I mean? It's going to be like that when you're talking to them. You know, so first, Mr. Concerned sibling, first understand that, like, your sister's grown. Have you lived your own? You may have missed some real points, right? You know, and then you talked about how this made you feel. Have you had the conversation with your sister about how she feels after having the conversation with your mom? That's another thing. As brothers, we get to be there and ask our sisters, like, how you feeling, sissy? Like, for real. Tell bro what's on your mind, because you know I love you unconditionally. Because apparently y'all got a good relationship based off of, this letter. You concerned, you talk to your sister, apparently, because you've overheard this conversation. So y'all in close enough proximity to where y'all can see each other. So as brothers and sisters and siblings, we need to know that we love each other unconditionally, right? So you can go to your sister and ask, like, how you feel? What do you feel about our whole phase? Have you asked her that? That's a real question to put onto the table, right? Because it's two sides to every coin. Yeah, you heard the conversation, but did she listen and did she absorb it? But what's the other side of it? Now, who is the person she is now? Flight ranking. Yeah, man. Respect. But, so that's the thing. So in the event that something like that has occurred, again, I understand this is a tough spot to be in, and family dynamics like this, they can be tricky because you want to protect those closest to you the most. Understandable, right? So you got to start with that conversation with your sister. Ask her how she feel about it. Ask her, is she okay with Ma Dukes telling her that? Does she feel uncomfortable? Does she feel okay? Because you want to make sure you got her ear, if y'all got each other's heart, you got to make sure you got her ear. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if y'all part of each other's heart like that, if y'all connected, you got to make sure you got each other's ear. Not only you having hers, but she having yours. Because that way you're going to be able to listen to what she's saying to you, right? That open, y'all know I always say communication is the number one way to resolve any issue. Communication. And that's communication. You listen to absorb and not just listen to respond. You have to be able to take on and embody what somebody's telling you within that conversation. If you're conversing with one another, then you have to be able to embody some of that, take some of that on, right? Realize what it is they're saying back to you after you've talked to them about what you had to say. Because you're hoping that they did the same for you and absorb what you're saying, because that way you can really feel the empathetic ways. What up, Dave Pogue? D.A. Pogue? David Pogue in the building. But if you got to be able to feel and absorb what it is that they're saying, and you're hoping they're doing the same for you, that way you're really communicating with one another, right? So it may be uneasy, but it's okay to set boundaries. Remember that it's always okay to set boundaries, whether it be like, okay, we're going to have this conversation, but you can say what you don't want to hear. And I'm going to tell you things that if you're taking it too far, I'm going to stop you and cut you off. It's okay to set certain boundaries within conversations with anybody. That way then that people are able to talk and they know you're going to listen. They know you're going to listen, right? That's one thing about it. You got to understand that. Set the boundaries on what can be said within this conversation, or things you're going to turn your ears off to. It's okay to do that with any conversation you have, but share your feelings respectfully. You got to let them know how this situation is affecting you. If it's affecting you enough to write me a letter, it's affecting you enough to where it's causing some unease within, some displeasure or some unease within your family dynamic, let them know that. It's about finding the balance for everybody's feelings. Find the balance for not only how you feel, but how they feel too. Because if not, that's being selfish. You just want to tell people, well, this is how I feel. And, this is the way it should be. This is the way it should be. This is the way it should be. And they up here, they don't hold whatever their feelings are, hold no weight to you now. But if you find out where the balance is, like, okay, I see how you feel. You see how I feel. Let's meet in the middle. Let's keep a balance. Yeah. Don't tip the scales just based off what your feelings are, or tip the scales and let them overwhelm you with how they feel. Let's find a balance. Now you're communicating. Now you're talking, right? So talk about this whole phase. Find out what dynamics it may be that she's looking for out of it. What's up, Mark Rollins? My dog. Hey, man, I need them ducks. I'm about to mess them up at the gig. I need them ducks. Hit me if you still got about 1,000 of them. But I'm about to mess them up at work, Mark. But yeah, so be able to talk and have a balance in that conversation, and you'll feel a whole lot better, because then you can talk to your mom, you can talk to your sister, talk to somebody else, find some objectivity within somebody else, somebody who don't even know, like you just did. You asked me, right? You asked me, and I always put it out to my constituents, all the people out here that I love. You know, we are a conglomerate of life coaches on this line, right? What's going on, Lucy Lowe, babe, in the building? We are a conglomerate of life coaches between Instagram and Facebook, right? All of us have our pieces of advice, and I appreciate that, because we all know somebody who may have gone through these things. We all know somebody who may be fighting with that quote unquote inner demon of whether or not to let their whole phase out the cage. I vote yes, but I also vote yes with precaution. Make sure that you are ready to embrace that whole phase, because some people I've seen dive into it and they drown. They never come back. They just become hoe. It ain't the purpose of going into the hoe phase is not to become a hoe. Remember that. It's not. The purpose of diving into the hoe phase is to live that glamorous whole life for a quick second. What up, C. Kuntz? You know what I mean? Like, that's the purpose of living in your whole phase, just to see what it's all about. You know what they talking about over here, man? You know, you go to vacations on places, right? Not to live there. You go just to see what it's all about. Shabby, baby. What's up, cuz sister? You know, you go on vacation, you go to islands to see what they all about. So visit whole island. You're not migrating and moving there. You just go for the time being to see what it's all about, to get what you need. Vacate from whatever it is phase that you live on a normal basis, and vacate to whole island for whatever time you need to be there. Plan your own vacation. Plan your own vocation. You feel me? Like, that's real. Like, you cannot let other people put limits and tell you how long to be in your whole phase. So that's why I said you got to be ready for your whole phase, because you got to set the parameters for what you going to do while you there, how long you going to stay, if you going to re-up on the whole phase-cation. You know, you may have some more time set aside. You may have been a good girl, a good guy your whole life. So you got 35 years of being good. So you got some PTO, some PTO. You feel me? So you got some built up. So you get to determine the parameters on how much of it you gonna use. Because you the boss of your vocation. You the boss. You are the ruler of your whole phase. You know what I mean? That's real. Like, again, I'm going to state it over and over again. Y'all can put it on t-shirts. Whole phase is whole phase is an exploration, not a destination. You go there to explore it, not to live there. You know? It's not somewhere you trying to plant a flag. Exactly. Ramsey James, everybody got some built up PT hoe. You know what I mean? Some paid time hoeing. You got time. You built it up. So you set the parameters on how much of it you're going to use, right? You know, our concerned sibling may consider seeking some advice from people who have lived in their whole phase before, like myself. It was fun. It was a great time. I stayed. I left for a little bit, went back. Went back, re-upped, and finally left that thing. Left a trail of smoke behind me as I left it, because I got what I needed out of it. Now I would trip up trying to live in the whole phase. What? It's a lot. It's some maintenance. It's some scheduling. It's a lot that goes in. It's a lot of effort. So again, talk to your sister and ask her if she ready. You know? You know what I mean? Like, you know, and if somebody out there, you building up your PT hoe, you feel what I'm saying? So, and my wife leave me, I got some built up PT hoe. You feel that day. We had a ball. A ball in that whole phase, man. It was fun. So let your sister embrace that fun. Make sure she's ready for it. Make sure she got all that she need going into it. If you a brother, be a brother. Be a protector, be a shield from anything that may possibly catch her off guard. So now as a brother, your job is to keep her from getting caught off guard. You say, Dakari said, man, should have gotten that out in college, visiting Holla Island as a full grown-up. You'll bring back customs you can't get rid of. No, only if you go unprepared, my young Padawan. Dakari, you can go back, you can go to Holla, you can visit Holla Island as a full grown-up if you go prepared, meaning your passport can truly be stamped going to Holla Island. Because you can't go to Holla Island if you out here in a whole relationship. Nah, you can't be on Holla Island in no relationship. Now you just hoeing. You just fucking off. You know? You say, what's a whole phase flight ranking? Flight ranking, a whole phase is an exploration, not a destination. Exactly. See, there you go, Shabby baby. My cousin over here says she'll trade in her PT whole time for a vacation anytime. Been here, been real. What's happening with you, cousin Keith? Happy birthday to you again, kid. Oh, yeah, happy birthday to the homeboy, Travar McDaniel, Trav Mac, the 21st of February. It's your birthday today, dog. What up with you? What's going on? I'm giving you the grip under the table, Keith. But, and again, back to you, Mr. Thompson. Yeah, you can go as a full grown up. You can go. You could, like I say, it's no time limit on when you can go back to Holla Island. But again, you can't be in a relationship talking about you on in your hoe phase. Now you just hoeing. You know, to live in your hoe phase and embrace your hoe phase, you got to have the freedom of being in that hoe phase. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, you know I'm the birthday king, Shavy. You know I be knowing everybody's birthday. But you got to have the freedom to be and embrace that whole phase. You can't be living double duty. You living double lives. Nah, I'm living two lives. You know, I got a whole poem about all that kind of shit, right? No, you got to be able to be in your whole phase exclusively. So that's what I mean by if you need to go back to Holla Island to figure out what it is you need as a grown-ass man, then take a trip. Take a trip, stamp your assport. You know what I mean? Stamp your assport and go get the getting some. Stamp it. Quick, fast, and in a hurry if you need to revisit Holla Island now that you've grown. Because again, if you unattached, you can go to Holla Island anytime you want to. You can be 70 years old. If you still got the goods to go to Holla Island and somebody's still going to be out there Holla Island with you, then run it. Run it. Long as I'm vertical and breathing. If I was unattached, I'd be out there right now, stabbing my assport. Dunking. Getting some. You got to embrace it, though. You got to be ready for it, though. So again, as a concerned sibling, you got to make sure that your sister is ready for that. Talk to her. But a question again, I got to rewind and ask, have you experienced your own? If you haven't, put that knife away, babe. If you haven't, you know what I mean? If you haven't experienced your own, then do it. Embrace it. What up, Cali Bay? Cousins on the building. My family on the line today. That's what I'm talking about. You say, is it a whole phase or Stella getting her groove back? No, it's a whole phase because Stella got her groove back and started liking little Winston. She started liking that young, because Stella getting her groove back is getting her groove from somebody who got that groove back in the day. You know what I mean? Stella should have lived in her hoe phase. You heard Whoopi tell her, be a hoe. Girl, you got the right to go out there and get you some. You know? You know what I mean? Like you got to make sure that you able to embrace the hoe phase. What'd you say, McFadden? You say make sure she doesn't put herself in unsafe situations. Exactly. Put a helmet on your soldier before you go to war. If not, you come back a casualty. Don't think because you old that people ain't out there got that heebie-jeebies. They still got it. That shit live forever. Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to understand, like, if you haven't lived that whole phase yet, and you wonder why at certain times inside your body, you got certain yearnings in your loins. You got certain yearnings in your loins. It's because your inner hoe trying to get out. Now, I also have a caveat. If you into it, if y'all are into it, you and your If you got a significant other and you feel them burnings in your loins, talk to each other about it. See if they got the same burnings, because you can live your whole phase with role play. I ain't say you got to bring nobody else in your relationship, because 9 times out of 10, you bring somebody else in, that's the end. Oh, that's another one. 9 times out of 10, you bring somebody else in, that's going to be the end. You feel me? So I'm not saying bring nobody else into the relationship. I'm saying if y'all both got them yearning in your loins for somebody different, dress up as the cable guy. You dig? Really go through with it. Like, have a message come to your phone, like reminder text that you have a cable appointment. Go through it. Live in it. That's a way to create a whole phase for you. If you too late to go back into it and you fell in love and you can't go back into a whole phase, but you feel like you need it on the inside, but you don't want to mess up home, it's a way to do it. Create the whole phase. Use your imagination to create it within your space. Because again, whole phase is an exploration, not a destination. Somewhere you explore within your mind, you can continue to create all those same dynamics without being stuck there. You never want to be stuck on Whole Island. That's worse than Gilligan them. Because if you stuck on Whole Island by yourself, whoa, that's just a strong right arm or a strong right wrist if you clicking your mouse. Yes, I say click your mouse. You understand what I'm saying? So if you get stuck on Whole Island by yourself, that's a lonely place. Because the water that surrounds you is happiness. And you stuck out there on Whole Island. So you want to just go for a little bit. All I need is a little bit. Baby girl, just a little bit. You feel me? You just go for a little bit, for a little taste. What the country folks say, I'll be gone for a little taste. I just want a little taste. That's all you want. You lick your fingers, just a little taste of your whole phase. I encourage anybody who has not lived it and has the opportunity to live it, set the blueprint for yourself. I can't tell you how to do your whole phase because mine was different. Situations were different. Circumstances were different. Finances were different. If you're older, you got some finances, your whole phase can be some fun. You can have some hell of a fun on the whole phase. You know what I mean? You say, Lee, you on Gilligan's Island with that Mary Ann. Now that's what I'm saying. Whole phase is lonelier than Gilligan. A whole island is lonelier than Gilligan Island when you're on there by yourself. Oh, man, that's one of the reality shows you can't get off of. You got to get off of that one. Survive. How you going to survive Whole Island? I'm going to come up with a reality show. How you going to survive Whole Island? You know? Last man standing type thing, you know? If somebody takes credit for that, I need 10%. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, you got to consider these things. The most important thing is to have the empathy for the person that you trying to understand why they want to or need to go through their whole phase. You have to have empathy, meaning you have to, right, Dak, trademark, exactly, TM in a circle. You have to have empathy for anybody who you're trying to understand about their whole phase. You dig? So if you're trying to figure out why, you have to try to put yourself in their shoes to understand why this is even necessary for them. And the way you can do that is by asking them questions. But ask them with the intention of finding out, not to, because again, like I say, I'm nosy as hell, right? But I'm not nosy to tell your business. I'm nosy just so I can know and understand why that even transpired. You understand? And that's how I get a chance to kind of dive into people's lives, because I'm trying to get an understanding of what it is you got going on. So if you need to find this out from your sister or from your mama, you said your sister and your mama was talking, right? So go to your mama and ask her, like, hey, ma, why you tell her that? Why you tell little Nikki to go out there and give her whole phase in? You know what I mean? Like, why you tell her? Why you say that to her? Because you got to find out from her. But ask her with empathy. Be like, I really want to know, ma. What made you say that or think or feel that was an okay conversation to have? Because, it's more likely if she give you that game that I know she going to give you, then that means she going to mess around and tell you exactly how you could be feeling in the situation. Meaning like you may be not understanding because you never been through one, or meaning like you've been through one and you know what it was like for you, but you're not considering what it may need to be like for her. And that's all it really is. Empathy, considering what something may need to be for somebody else. I don't have a whole lot of it when it comes to a lot of things, but I know what the meaning of it is. I've experienced it sometimes, you know what I mean? But you got to be empathetic if you really want to know. If you really want to know why this conversation even happened, ask in a way that they'll give you the answers to it. You know, talk to people the way you want to be talked to. And they'll give you the conversation that you really want to hear. Allow that whole phase to go, because if your sister miss out on it because she think her big brother gonna look down on her and that may change her whole trajectory of what she may go through, then if she miss out on that and it was a necessity of her life and she get later on down the road and get married to somebody and you know, the things that they doing in the relationship and the marriage really ain't her cup of tea, is because you didn't give her a chance to explore to see if it was her cup of tea. Only cup of tea she knew was what she looked at and thought about and what may have been her dream guy. Like, just because he looked the way she want him to look don't mean he gonna give her what she need him to give her. This is how people find our types. Yeah, you may have a type that you like to look at, but what about the one that needs to make you feel a certain way? That's physically, that's emotionally, that's, you know what I mean? All type of alleys, spiritually, personally, all the alleys. How you gonna find that if you don't discover what the alleys you need? You gotta find out what those things are. You have to find out what your needs are. Because if you don't know them, then you're going to continuously be on that hamster wheel trying to figure out, well, oh, this is what I need. 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 But you don't even know because you never got a chance to get off the wheel and actually run somewhere to go explore. So I say you need that whole phase to explore your sexual, your personal, your physical, your loying desires and needs. That way you know what you like, what you don't like, what you look for, what really turns you on. If people took more time to find that out and really, and not just be out there whole hopping and really embrace the whole phase, you'll learn. Because if you keep doing the same thing, just going out there, just humping around, if you're just out there humping around, yeah, you may be in your whole phase, but you're not embracing it. You may be single and humping around, but you're not embracing your whole phase. It's a phase of life. A phase is like this. It's got to, you know, it's a story. It's a chapter. Again, you don't want to stay there. You just want to go through it. Get through the chapter. Find out what the whole phase chapter is all about and utilize that in your book of life. Because that may get you to your happily ever after. Man, where does this be coming from? Somebody dropping stuff in my ear? No, I'm just saying this is real spit though. Real spit. Like, if you don't get a chance to embrace what it is you need, what your body needs. Crystal, you said I was with my ex-husband for 30 years. My H phase is over. I'm in my 50s. I'm too old to go back. Exactly. So Crystal, again, you not saying you know, you're not too old to go back because you never been. If you were with your ex-husband for 30 years and you now in your 50s, you got with him in your 20s. So you really ain't ever been to Whole Island. So you're never too old to go, especially if you've never even been, because you just experience Whole Island differently. Like, you think of it like this. Think of Whole Island like Hawaii. So many different islands. Okay, and it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. I just recommend it for everybody, Crystal. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, think of whole islands like the Hawaiian Islands. You know, you go to Honolulu to party, to kick it. That's the 20-year-old island. But you go to Kauai to kick back. That's the senior saint island. You know what I mean? That's the seasoned person island. You go there to chill. So Whole Island don't have to be a lot of humping around. It may be a lot of chilling with the intent to find out what it is that you need in this phase of your life. So again, I still stand on it. You're never too old to go to Whole Island. You're never too old to explore your whole phase, especially if you never got to explore it. Because again, I still stand on the fact, like, if you're with somebody, you can't be in your whole phase too. That's, you know, it's two different universes. You say most men your age are in the whole phase, and you don't have the patience. And see, again, you get to determine the parameters, because the key word you said there, Crystal, most men your age. Yeah. You may find a 50-something that's out there trying to be on Whole Island right now because he may have been stuck in Marriage Island for many, many years, like yourself, and now they out there trying to figure out their Whole Island phase, and you say you don't have the patience. But again, you get to set the parameters for your own Whole Island. You get to set the parameters for your whole phase. You really get a chance to say, like, this is what I want. This is what I'll accept in my space. That means you are truly embracing it. Yes, Nicole, masterclass on the whole phase. We talking about it. That's what this whole letter about, baby. So these are true instances, so never feel uncomfortable with you. A lot of us have these preset mindsets like, oh, well, I can't do that because I'm this age. Says who? Somebody else who was that age and said they couldn't do that? That don't mean you can't. They're not you. You have the choice to individualize and set the parameters for any phase of your life. If you in your hustle phase, some people say, I'm too old to go back to work. Bull, chewed up grass. You know what I mean? Too old to go back to work. You still need money, don't you? So now you got to set the parameters on what you're willing to accept in the work phase. So you got to do the same thing for your whole phase. Own it. Like, again, you can call it, name it, whatever you want to name it. Name it your Sacagawea's phase in life. She was a journey woman. She traveled. She was an explorer. Name it your Lewis and Clark. Call it what you want. You exploring new parts of the same place. Name it how you want to name it to where the person who's going through it has to be the most comfortable with it. Because if you're not comfortable with it, then you're not in it. And you got to be all the way in it to truly win it. Right? So you have to be comfortable with how it's transpiring. So concerned sibling, talk to your sister and make sure that she's there would be my advice. Again, that's I'm telling you the things you can do. I never tell people what to do, just tell you the things that can be done, right? So consider talking to her to figure out if she's ready for it, or she understands it, or if she understands it from your perspective or from how guys will look at it. Make sure that she's covering her bases. As brothers, we got to talk to our sisters or our cousins or our nieces, or, as guys, we got to tell them, like, from a guy's perspective. Don't just tell them don't. Tell them, okay, I would rather you not, but in the event that you are, pay attention to this. Look for this. And if this ever occurs, this is what this means. We're not giving away the game. We just schooling our female family on how men can and will be. So it gives them the chance to curve some of those things while going through their whole phase. They don't get caught up. Talk to her. Make sure she's always protected. Make sure the things she don't go out by herself. Talk to her all the things that are going through your mind that can be a detriment to her as a person. Talk to her about those things, about how to protect herself while going through them. That's how you be the brother that she needs in the whole phase. Because she's going to go through it with or without you. With or without you, more than likely she's going to go through it. Now or later. So if you that concerned, that means you love her enough to be concerned about her. So love her enough to talk to her about it. You say that's exactly what it sounds like too. It is. That's exactly, talk to her about it. Like, talk to her about these things. Protect her. Protect her from the wolves that may appear in sheep's clothing. Fresh as hell. Sheep's clothing ain't nothing but cotton. You feel what I'm saying? So somebody coming up fresh as hell and they cotton and they linen, whatever. They fresh. They come nice and soft appearing, but on the inside you see their teeth. You tell her to be on the lookout for the teeth. You understand? Like, she out there, the Little Red Riding Hood, tell her to be on the lookout for the teeth. That's when you can step in and be a brother during this situation. A big brother at that, because most of the time they don't listen to the little brother. They listen to me because I talk loud. They hear me. I don't know if they always listen to me, but somebody listen. But as a big brother, you can talk to her and be like, hey, little sis, I know you want to explore these things, and hey, now I'm not saying I'm on board with it, but This is what I'm feeling about it. This is what I can tell you how to go through it with. You know, that's when you're speaking with the empathy I talked about earlier and without judgment. Exactly. And exactly, McFadden, is that I'd rather you not hit her with that. And that's coming from somebody. She got all brothers. She the opposite of me. She the baby with all older brothers. I'm the baby with all older sisters. So the homegirl McFadden, she telling it real. She says, she's heard her plenty of times, I'd rather you not. And again, that's what you can tell her, concerned sibling. Tell her, I'd rather you not, but in the event you are, I want you to be ready for that. Okay? So I hope this advice today helped not only our concerned sibling, but anybody else who else out there may be considering what's going on in the world, and somebody else may be trying to figure out what's going on with their whole phase. I hope I help somebody understand that it's not too late to go through your whole phase. And again, remember, you always got some PT hoe built up if you've been being good in relationships. So anybody ever have any questions, make sure y'all can always reach out to me at hollaathehomie@gmail.com. Ray stay bugged in the building. Hollaathehomie@gmail.com. That's HOLLAATTHAHOMIE@gmail.com. And I'll be able to answer all your questions right here. So until next week, remember it's Black History Month, y'all. So when you see one of the brothers say, what up? Normalize that. Normalize speaking to each other out there, not just through Black History Month, through all the time. Black history all the time. So in a minute, I'm going to get with y'all. Go.